Good afternoon. I'm feeling slightly intimidated actually because it's the first time in a while that the judges are judging the speeches over in the corner there. We've got three public service chief executives. If you did actually talk to them afterwards, it might be a chance for them to get their own back. I was also thinking I haven't brought anything today. I haven't brought an app, which is probably bad. So I have thought of one though while I was waiting, a sort of ministerial booking app, where we turn it on its head and the government departments book the minister when it suits them and when there's time available, and set up a secondary market where they could trade off bookings with each other. It'd work, and then we could have, a ranking of value of ministerial time. That value could change week to week. Bill would be on top, obviously. We could also have off-peak pricing, which for Bill would be like 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. So it's got some hope anyway. Look, it's fantastic to have the opportunity to be here. Can I acknowledge everybody who's been involved in this, everybody who's been running it, Stefan, Andrew Bardsley, the teams here that have made it through to Demo Day, congratulations. I've seen two so far this afternoon, and I saw the same two a couple of weeks ago, and it's fascinating to see how fast they've moved over that period, which is great. I want to acknowledge the prospective investors in the room, particularly both public and private sector, because that's a really important part of this exercise. And I think for me, the model is about taking these opportunities and refining them and actually turning them into services that mitigate some of the risk and challenge of operating with the government sector. And I think this area is an area that's massively ripe for innovation. And I know Bill thinks in a similar way. And one of the things we've been challenging government agencies to do is try and step back a little bit from owning the interface with the public and with businesses, and allow 1,000 flowers to bloom and let people innovate and then get back further into the core of the business. By all means, you've got to take responsibility for your data and your security, but actually there's no reason why we shouldn't see more innovation from more private sector businesses in this space. And what we're doing with this accelerator is giving an opportunity for people to work and have a front door with government agencies that I know, even though we've been encouraging this, that sometimes it's hard to get. And this Rule 9 Accelerator has enabled that to occur. It's also really important for New Zealand's economic development that we encourage this stuff to happen. And right across a range of sectors, we're trying to seed in different ways innovation to occur through these sorts of accelerators and incubators and so on. And the model is actually becoming fascinating because it's starting to segment itself. You do have accelerators that are, and incubators that are denoted to public sector type stuff. You have accelerators and incubators that are about food or about another part of science. And I think you're going to see more and more specialisation over the next few years. And it absolutely makes sense for Wellington, which is a strong ICT city, a strong technology city, to also be a strong city in the innovation of public services. And I could definitely see us developing I hate the word competency, but a specialty in this regard. In terms of the private sector investors, as I say, that's really important for all these accelerators and incubators. And one of the questions I always ask now when I go to one of these events is making sure that the work has been done to bring the private sector capital in, and not just any old private sector capital, private sector that understands the business models for these things. Because actually those that are going to be putting in more money and be more confident are those that are going to understand the space and understand the business models. So it's not just enough to bring in any old VC, you've got to bring in one who's done this sort of stuff before. And that's something I think we're going to see increasing specialisation in that space as well. So it's very cool to come to Demo Day. It's so far, I think, very enlightening. We've got some great stuff going on. From our perspective, we're investing more in the space. We've just put another $15 million, don't tell Bill, into the startup space. with both incubators and pre-seed capital. And that's part of our, yes, that's good, yes. She's lining up. And also we're putting about an extra, through the Innovative New Zealand package, we're putting an extra $760 million over 4 years into science, into entrepreneurship, into the STEM subjects in particular at tertiary education, and also into regional development initiatives which are about encouraging this sort of activity and investment in regional areas. So it's a big part of New Zealand's future. We've already shown the last few years we're not just about dairy despite the cartoon, and we're about a whole range of industries. And in this city and in this world, we're showing that we can deliver tremendous innovation, and we're seeing it again today. And I think the challenge and the opportunity for the New Zealand public sector is to stand back far enough to let it happen and to show the world that actually we can translate innovation through to delivering the very best 21st century public services for our companies and also for our citizens. Thank you very much for having me here this afternoon.